Hi everyone, Jamie here, thanks for watching today. This video starts a new series, Saturday Sketch, where I plan to share approximately one video per month showing you a different card sketch design. So my intention for this is to get me using my pattern papers, and they are quick and simple makes, so if you're ever in need of a card and you only have, 30-40 minutes to make one, then this should cover your bases. No specialty dies are required for sketch designs. If there are circles, for example, you could use a circle cutter or draw around a circle shape and cut by hand. So the sketch that I'm using today is from the latest issue of Simply Cards and Papercraft, issue 240. So the sketch here, Claire has designed 3 different cards using the same sketch, and this is available to download from Craft World, so I'll pop a link in the description box below. So as well as the sketch, I'm using the Creative Craft Products Notched Edge Octagon Nestables and the Card Making Magic Simply Dots embossing folder. And I've got the pattern paper that was part of the free gift for this issue. So I've gone ahead and I've prepared my items off camera, and I'll go through everything with you now. So I've cut a piece of 12 by 6, and along the 12-inch side I've scored at 6. So that gives me my 6 by 6 card base. I've then got some white cardstock, and I've cut 2 pieces of 5 3/4 squared. So one is for the outside of the card and one is for the inside. I've then cut a piece of pattern paper. As I said, this is part of the free gift with the magazine. And this measures 5 1/2 squared. So that will be placed over the top there. I've then used my Octagon dies to cut this shape. So the sketch calls for a circle shape, so I think this doesn't necessarily look like an octagon, so that's why I've gone for that. It's got a unique edge, so I thought that would add a little bit of interest to the card. So as I said, I've cut that in white. I've then cut the next size down in the same colour cardstock that I've used, and I've dried embossed that with the embossing folder I showed at the start. I've then got a piece of white cardstock that measures 1 by 4 3/4, so that will sit there. I have another piece that measures 4 1/2 by 3/4 of an inch, and that will sit there. I've then cut some pattern paper, so this measures 3/4 by 4 1/2, and that will sit over that panel there. And then I've cut another piece in this yellow polka dot, which is 1/2 inch by 4 1/4, and that will sit on that panel there. Continuing with the octagon design, I've cut a piece in the pattern paper. I've also cut the same size then in white cardstock and attached them together, so I've got more of a sturdier piece then. And that will sit over the top there. And then using the stamp set that's included in the magazine, I've stamped Step into Spring, and I've used the Charming Pink VersaFine clay, and that will sit over the top there. I've been making several projects, so all I've done is just pick up some of the extra pieces that I had left on my desk. So these leaves were from the Papercraft Society card that I made. And then these pieces are left over from my samples for the last Made to Surprise launch. And they happen to match lovely with the pattern paper. So that's all the pieces that I pulled together. So if you just have a little look at the sketch there. So I've got the octagon at the back there, the 2 panel pieces. I've opted to trim one of them a little bit smaller and thinner. Then I've got the 2 pieces on the front, and then this circle here is my cluster of flowers and leaves. So I've got my hot glue gun heating up by the side of me, and I'm just going to start attaching everything to the card now. So you may also want to stamp a sentiment on the inside of your card. If you do, I'd suggest doing that before you attach the panel. You should still be able to do it afterwards, but if you make a mistake or something, you can always cut an extra panel. So I'm just attaching the panel there on the inside of the card. If you're new to the channel, the glue that I just use is the all-purpose glue from Kalal. It's a solvent-based glue, so it doesn't warp your card and it really adds the strength. So I'm going to work on the front now. So again, starting by attaching the panels. So it's entirely up to you however you want to attach these panels. I think the white and the pattern paper I'm just going to attach using Kalal glue. You may like to send one-dimensional cards, so you don't like sort of too many layers or foam adhesive. But I usually give most of my cards by hand and don't send them in the post. So I'm going to start adding some dimension now on the next layer or so. So I'm going to attach these 2 together, and then I'm going to add some foam pads on the back of the white panel and sit that over the top there. I'm just using some of the Papercraft products 2mm thick white foam pads. These foam pads are great, I gotta say. In comparison to the cheaper ones I use, they don't add as much dimension and it takes forever to get the backing off them. Whereas if you're in a rush making your card, or you've got that limited time, you just want something that comes off really easy and you don't have to mess about with it. So I'm sure you've seen me do this many times before. I always like to add a bit of liquid glue to the foam pads. Just gives me that little bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to attach these 2 pieces together because, as I said, this is a paper basically, so that may not sit well with some foam pads underneath. So I'm just going to attach those together and add foam on the back of the white piece. So as you can see, I've just trimmed these foam pads down so that you can use them for smaller pieces if you wish. And I'm just going to get those placed. So let me know in the comments, do you often make sketch cards or do you prefer a different style of card? What do you make when you're in the need of a quick card? So with this piece, I've just popped a little bit of foam on the side there, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the other side. So this will even everything out. And then I'm going to add some foam on the back of this piece here. So I'm just placing my flower down. I've got some hot glue poking through that hole there. So I'm going to make use of that by attaching one of the pearls to the front there, if I can pick it up. And that then holds everything in place. So these pearls I just picked up off Amazon. So they come in various sizes, and also you can colour these using the alcohol markers if you don't have the exact shade you're looking for in your stash. So there's the final card. I'll just bring in the sketch again. So there we go. I opted not to use the leaves. I didn't like how it looked in the end, so I just removed those, and I've added some Nouveau drops, and this is the berry blue, and it's the crystal drops. So I don't want to move it about too much, but I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see more of the detail. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, you might want to hit the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. As I said, I'll link everything in the description box below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!